Hey everybody, Tchadas here, host of Our Native Land through Czech Podcast Studios. So, next week's guest is Chief Harlan Schilling. He's from the Delu-Dena Council, which is the Kaska Nation on the very northern tip to BC. It's actually so north, the closest town is in the Yukon, Watson Lake to be exact. So quite far up north. We're going to talk about what it was like in the moments when the lower post-residential school was destroyed in a ceremonial destruction and then later burning of the residential school. It's very touching, it's very powerful, and I had the chance to talk to Chief Harlan. Here's a small look at our conversation.
So there are 16 First Nations in the Yukon that school affected. So it's absolutely phenomenal, the amount of people and students. Lower Post is a relatively small community. We have about 160 to upwards of 200 people that live on reserve at the time. And at one point, there were 603 students at that school.
Wow.
So that was a large population of Yukon First Nations that were affected. So us being able to bring that building down was, we made a little bit of history there.
Yeah.
So, and that was with the support of all the First Nations in northern BC and the Yukon. It was a moment where Lower Post and the Kaska got to welcome in our brothers and sisters from across the north. And we all had one common goal. And those survivors that went there, they did it. They didn't let a system that was designed to break them. So it was a very touching moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you find that all those nations and people in the surrounding Yukon and northern BC area, there was a sort of unanimous decision that this was the right thing to do?
I believe so. The portion of that residential school that was left standing that our people here in Lower Post Delu had to work out of, that a lot of different types of abuse happened in that part of the building, right? So there was no question in do we refurbish it and make it into a usable space. It was just, there was a basement in there that was absolutely very eerie and scary. Even as myself as a grown man to go into, you felt just a bad air.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be there. So we did have those talks. Infrastructure is very hard thing to come by in the north. So it was a very long and hard decision. But at the end of the day, our job as leaders is to do what the people want, and the people wanted that building gone. It was very emotional at the beginning of that day the day we tore it down. I did the ceremonial tear down.
There you have it, just a small clip of my conversation with Harlan. We talk about the destruction of the residential school, and after that, we also talk a little bit about northern living, about hunting, about how cold it is up there. We mentioned a little bit about -45, so you're going to want to check that out. Or maybe you won't. Maybe it gets too cold. Either way, the show's coming out this Monday. If you want to get all our episodes, it's at checknews.ca/ONL. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Our Native Land Podcast. Tchadas checks my Twitter account. Thank you so much for watching, listening, and supporting Our Native Land.